I wanted to talk to you. Again, I'm still on this trip with my bass drum pedal. I got a few things to show you today about this. One of which is, check this out. These are beaters, right? Because I got a new bass drum pedal and I needed more beaters. And it occurred to me, look at that. Do you see that? Maybe if I do it like this. I'm going to turn it. I'm trying to get it straight like that. Do you see the bar? Do you see the bar? See how it's bowing up like this? That's actually, if I get it right. There, do you see that? You see how it's like, whoosh, like that? That's after a week of me playing with it. And I realized, like, holy crap, these things suck. This one's less, but it's still there. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So, just goes to show you, put your money in your beaters. Get a reputable mark, because a company, mark, they say that in French, une marque. Get a reputable company, because that beater bar bends. Depends on how you play, but it bends. Probably good for a little kid, but any kind of rock thing, any kind of, playing for real, that thing's gonna bend, and that's not cool. So I figured this out. I think I did. As you know, in my previous video, I bought an Iron Cobra, like top of the line. I found a top of the line Iron Cobra 900 series Flexiglide. And I was like, this thing is butter. Heel down, it's really, really nice. Really nice. If you play heel down, this pedal, as it is a Flexiglide pedal, is really, 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 really nice. Really nice. But I don't just play heel down. I play all kinds of techniques depending on what I'm doing with style. This is my Vic Firth beater I've had for a long time. Okay. And you can see the bar here, it kind of is. Not very much though. I mean, in this beater I've had this for like at least 10 years, I guess. Playing with it as much as I played with this one for a week. This one, I've been playing with this one just as much, if not more. And plus gigs and stuff. I didn't gig with that one. And it's barely moved. It's a Vic Firth one. I like this one. I really like the weight. It just turned out to be really good. So I put this on my Flexiglide pedal, Iron Cobra pedal. Now, in the previous video, I was saying how I just could not get this thing right. And I was trying all kinds of different variations, and that's what I also wanted to do. Pause. So, let me get rid of that. You can see what I'm doing here. So, I took apart, well, let me start over. I was having a problem because the Flexiglide is not, it's not a rolling glide pedal. The Flexiglide, I took it off, obviously, as you can see. The Flexiglide is not a rolling glide. It's an eccentric sprocket. So it's not centered, the whole. And some people like this. It appears to be the selling style. With Iron Cobra, it's called a power glide. I think I'm not mistaken. I don't know, the DW, I think it's called the accelerator, and their round sprocket is called the turbo. But anyway, every company has either their eccentric sprockets or their round sprockets. And the Flexiglide is an eccentric sprocket. It's not centered in the center. So for the life of me, I was trying all different kinds of ways of positioning this pedal, the board up, the beater back, forth, the board down, the beater back, forth, the tension of the spring, all kinds of just, in this pedal you can do everything with it. It's really amazing for that quality. And I couldn't get it. And it was making me so mad because I was like, you got to be crazy. This is almost a $300 pedal and I still can't get that pocket with this thing. And what I'm searching for is like I can, on the right pedal, on my pedal, the Tama and the Camco pedal, the old school Speed Cobra, not the Speed Cobra, the old school Iron Cobra and the Camco pedal, I can do pocket, Jeff Porcaro pocket. And I'm not kidding. I can do it. But I've learned something about this, and this is kind of why I'm talking to you about it. I can't do the Jeff Porcaro pocket. When I say that, it's not really Jeff Porcaro. It's a 16th note shuffle kind of feel, where your hi-hat's going kind of a swing shuffle feel with 16th notes, and you're creating pocket and phrases with your right foot. Some people know this with the Bernard Purdy shuffle, Jeff Porcaro, but it's not really the Rosanna beat. It's not that. It's, think of like the Georgie Porgy song from Toto, that kind of stuff. And if you slow it down, it becomes Motown pocket, So anyway, so I couldn't get it with this thing, and it was making me so mad. And I was trying all different versions, and I finally, the rolling. In my previous video, I was like, I had a moment, and it didn't work. It slipped. The moment I thought of while I was sleeping was rolling the strap one time over itself to get it to shorten it so it would raise the footboard up. So I did that, and I was like, and it slipped. So I was like, crap. Okay, well, you know what? So then I went to my guy that sews all my bags and stuff up, and I ran up to him and said, can you do this for me? And he's like, yeah, that's nothing. Let's give it to me. He stopped what he was doing. He did it. It took him like 5 minutes, and he undid the thread of the strap here. Okay, and he repositioned it. He shortened it. Okay, he shortened it. So now this Kevlar strap is shorter, and so it raised up the footboard without changing the position of the Flexiglide, which is what I thought was the problem, and why I couldn't get that pocket. So I tried it, and it still didn't work, and it was making me so mad. It still didn't work. I got the board up, and I didn't change the position, and it's still, I couldn't get this kind of like spring-loaded pop that you need for pocket playing. And on top of, it's not just, pocket playing is not just about having the right pedal. Pocket, you have to work on it. But once you know what you're doing, you can also make steps to make it more consistent with, depending on what pedal you're playing. It does make a difference when you know what you're shooting for. If you can't do it, it doesn't matter what pedal you use, you're not going to be able to do it. Anyway, so it still didn't work. And I was like, God damn it, I can't get, this is driving me nuts. So this should not be happening with a $300 pedal. So I said, you know what? Screw this. I am going to take apart my Iron Cobra pedal, my old one from the 80s or 90s or whatever, HP20 I think it is, right, this thing. And I'm going to take the axle axle. Every time I say that word, I think of axle rose, axis, axle. Out of here, the bar, the bearings, everything. And I'm going to put the rolling glide that's on this pedal. I bet you, for the life of me, 20, 30 years later, I bet you that rolling glide fits on this Tama pedal. They're the same company. And being that it's Japan, they are ruthlessly consistent with their stuff. If you have a car from Japan, a lot of times parts that fit in a car from, I don't know, the 1990s, early 2000s will still fit in the car in 2022. There are a lot of pieces that that have continued down the line. Japan is known for doing this with their cars, and you know what? And they're doing it too with their bass drum pedals. So I took this off, and lo and behold, there's all the parts. The bearings fit right in. The bar is the same. Everything fits right in. So I did like a hybrid version. It's amazing. A hybrid version of my Iron Cobra pedal. Right? I put on the old school rolling glide sprocket. See that? You can even see it. Rolling glide. I put it on. Took this off. Put it right back. And I also put on the beater. Let's see here, where we at? Right here. The beater holder, right there, from the old Iron Cobra on this one. Why? Pause. So, I got when I was taking this apart, I was like, you know, now's the time. I'm going to go get my weight, my scale that I use for measuring cymbals and stuff, and I'm going to weigh this stuff. And lo and behold, here are the facts. The Flexiglide strap and pins and plastic, this whole thing with both pins and both plastic pieces right here, right, came out to be 71 grams. The Rolling Glide sprocket and chain and the metal part that comes under the pedal that you screw in to the top of the pedal, all that together, comes out to be 109 grams. So the Rolling Glide sprocket with the chain, obviously, the chain, this is just Kevlar, is heavier. 109 grams Rolling Glide sprocket. The Flexiglide with the strap and the plastic and the pins is 71 grams. So this is considerably lighter, even though it looks, I don't know, 10 times thicker, right? Now, when you take, right? Now, the beater holder is this part right here. Just this piece that holds the beater. The beater holder on the rolling, on the Flexi is, there's actually two parts to it. Is 64 grams plus the, let me show it to you. There's two parts to the beater holder on the Iron Cobra. You have this part, okay, and then you have this part that fits inside here, okay. It fits inside there, and this part right here that fits inside, it allows you to loosen up the beater holder right here with an Allen key, and you turn this wherever you want. So it's a nice function. It allows you to change the angle of the beater regardless of how high or low you have the footboard. But there's these two parts now with the screws that go with it. And the beater holder on the Flexiglide comes to 85 grams. 85 grams. Whereas the old school classic Iron Cobra beater holder is only 34 grams. So starting already, the sprocket on the rolling glide is 109. The Flexiglide altogether is 71. So the rolling glide is heavier. But the old school rolling glide catches up in weight because the beater holder is only 34 grams as opposed to 85 grams with the new Tama Iron Cobra beater holder. Okay, let's keep going. Now you have the spring mechanism for the Iron Cobra, which is, I'm talking about this part. I'm not talking about the spring. I'm talking about this part right here that accepts the spring plus this thing. Because this is the no, I didn't do this thing. I'm sorry, I didn't do this. Just this. Because it has a bearing here and it accepts this spring lock system. This thing alone is 28 grams. This is the new one. This is not the old school one. The old school one is 16 grams. So when you add and I didn't even add this part, right? Now this part makes it really smooth. And I'm going to put this on today and see if it bothers me or not. But anyway, when you add up all the parts, you come to the Flexiglide you're moving. How many grams are you moving? You're moving 100 these are my measurements, okay? So if you do it on your scale, maybe it'd be off, I don't know, I think plus or minus 5 grams. Anyway, the Flexiglide, you're literally moving 184 grams, I calculated. There's 184 grams to move. And the old school pedal, the old school Iron Cobra pedal, you only have 159 grams to move. So by the time you add things up, and actually the Iron Cobra, the new one, is even more because you have this weight here. Now, this weight on a bearing, it's not like it becomes invisible because of the bearing, but it's very smooth. So you got to, however, you still got to add a few more grams. Okay. So we're looking at, basically we're looking at 30, I want to say 30 more grams of weight that you got to move with your foot on the new Iron Cobra once you put everything together, even though they have the aluminum sprocket and the Kevlar strip and all that stuff. Strap. That's number one. But that's not the most important thing. Number two here, and I feel is the most important, and is kind of what the whole drumming community is about. It's either the power glide sprocket or the rolling glide sprocket. Whatever company you use, there's essentially these two versions: strap chain or double chain, or in the sense of the Speed King, which I want to say is not a rolling glide. That's essentially behaving like a power glide pedal or a sprocket. So, and I got so sick of this, so I figured, okay, yeah, the weights, I'm moving more weight here, but I had them all apart, and my initial idea was to put the rolling glide on here and then spend some time on it, see what it does. And you know what? It fixed it. The rolling glide, I learned so much. The rolling glide pedal, if you're having problems with this, that sprocket actually does mean a lot. At least for me, it changed it. And suddenly I was back to what I know, but I was also back to something a motion on the beater that I could anticipate. And when you can anticipate it and you can work with it, I knew what to do. And I was thinking about this thing, and it got me thinking about the Flexiglide. there's a lot of power here because you pull down and it immediately pulls it. You know, you're essentially, I think that's probably why they call it the power glide. I guess because it's just like a lever. The longer the lever, the longer the bar, okay, the less I gotta move here to move here. If I'm over here, if I put the bar and I make it real small here, the more I gotta move this point. If the axis is right there, the more I gotta move this to get this to move on the other end. So this is the same thing. It's a lever, kind of like a lever. The longer this is away from the center, the less I gotta pull down before it moves a lot. However, once I get past the moment where the strap is no longer hitting the end, now what? Now the strength, the pull is not calculated, but it's now instead of pulling this area, now it's pulling right from the screw. So there's like a double kind of distribution of pull here. I don't know how the terms used, but I think you understand. I pull here, it no longer is touching this part, and now it's pulling this part. Well, if you don't take that into consideration, what it means is it's going to be very deceiving. You're going to pull this, you're going to think, oh, it's done, but actually, no, it's not done, because it's now being pulled here. You follow me? That's crazy. Thank the Lord I'm not a mathematician, or geometry major. I'll say that again. So you pull here, and once I get it past that moment where it's no longer touching, I gotta still pull to get the beater to hit the head, or else it's not going to as strong as I think I played. And that's what was happening. I would push down the floor, I would push down the pedal, and the first note would be good, but the second note, the timing of the second note was really bad. I couldn't get it accurate. And but I understand why they're doing that, because it's very quick, the first note. But to get that second note, you got to work like twice. You got to learn your pedal twice. You got to learn this distance, and then you got to learn this distance. So there's one initial push, and then you work off this one. So it can work really well with like blast beats. But once you get blast beats, now you're just working on this part. You understand? The beater's not coming all the way back to this spot anymore. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just up here after the first one, after the first note. Drummers, you follow me. I don't think anybody else does, though. I can barely follow me. So, and I was having a problem with this. I'm used to, I guess I could have learned the timing of this area and then this area to get the second note, right? But that's two different timings that I got to learn. When with the rolling glide, it's one. The rolling glide, because it's just a circle, you pull down, you're pulling down everything, the timing is the same no matter what. There's no kind of speeding up your foot to compensate for the change of the shape in the sprocket, which is what you have with the power sprocket, which I don't know why they chose that, but apparently all the kids are buying them. Power sprockets, when you look on the industry, you see power sprockets are being sold more than other sprockets. But the rolling glide sprocket, I love it. And that is the classic Camco sprocket. That's the classic one that DW took. That's the classic one. It's the classic one. Yamaha, you have the perfect balance, Jojo Meyer thing. He didn't invent that. It came from the Camco. It came from the old school pedals even before Camco. you have a rolling glide, just a sprocket that is a circle. And you can really go to town with it. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents on this. It's a wonderful pedal, though. It's a very easy pedal to play. This Flexiglide, jazz stuff. It's super nice. Your heel's down, and you just like that, and the pedal flies to hit. It hits the head. But once you do 2 notes, a pocket kind of thing, it's hard. It's harder because the second note, your timing's got to be different to make up for the fact that you're not touching this one. I mean, you're not putting the pressure on the edge here, because after that first note, what happens? Doom, right? Now the pedal comes back up, but if it doesn't come back up all the way to here, your timing's got to now be for this position on the sprocket. So going to do, it's different on this thing. There's 2 different timings that you got to consider. But again, heel down, feathering, 1-note shots, and I guess any kind of repetition where you no longer are using the flex this part, but you're using it up here all the time. It's a really wonderful, wonderful pedal. And of course, the fact that it's Kevlar and all of the other things of this pedal make it very, very, very quiet. It is unbelievably quiet and smooth. It's amazing. But I had another gig this past weekend, and the Flexiglide was on this pedal, and I said, you know, it breaks the heart, but I'm not taking it. I'm going to take my Cobra pedal, my old one, and I know I'm not going to have any problems with it. And I didn't have any problems with it. So I came back from the gig, and this weekend, this past Monday, I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just getting sick and tired of this. I'm going to test out the roll and glide sprocket on this new Iron Cobra 900 pedal, and I'm going to see what happens. And lo and behold, like I said, I got exactly what I was trying to shoot for, which is I got the solidity. This is my whole. I got the solidity and the power of having the footboard here, and a really wonderful weight on the pedal, and a really wonderful quiet hinge here. This is the top of the line hinge that Iron Cobra's making. They now have they put the hinge in 2 parts, but regardless, the way that the way this actual piece comes around and wraps around, and it claws this thing, and there's a screw here and a screw here, and just the whole way that they're doing this it's a pin. It's like a bearing in there, makes it really great. It doesn't move right to left, and it doesn't make any noise. It feels really, 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 really solid under your foot, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a really nice, solid, just like stable feeling under my foot that you don't get with old school pedals that have this bar. Right, this thing will move. It's very old school, and it moves. See, look at that. I mean, there's a lot of motion going on with the pedal, which is nice. It moves to your foot, and I really like that. You know, I mean, but look at that. I mean, it's intense. This one doesn't move. I mean, it doesn't move at all. Okay. So I got the stability, and finally now that rolling glide, I got my pocket back with this. The speed, kind of thing. And it's consistent, and it totally made a difference. So, however, now the last part about this pedal is this thing, and this is supposed to make the pedal. It's supposed to take tension off of the spring, and I'm going to do it today. I'm going to bring both springs here. I'm going to do this today, and this is supposed to take tension off the spring because it doesn't, hold on a second. If I can get this in there, yeah. It allows the spring to move in the direction of, what's that called? I forget what that's called. In the direction of this thing, right? Basically. So if it moves this way, see how, you can just, I'll do it as slow as you can see. See how the spring actually, it changes its position. It's here and then it comes up and over like that, right? And likewise the other way. See how that does that? And it's very quiet. And it's supposed to take off the tension, the stress of the spring. But there's a few problems with this. Number one is that now the spring's got to be much stronger, because now where this spring, okay, it's basically essentially the same size, okay. You see what they did here? Yeah, I see. There you go. So you see how the top, I'm going to line this spring up. Right there. Oh, this is hard. Line the spring up. Now look. You see how the top here, it doesn't go over, it doesn't meet this screw here. It's not high enough. Okay? And it's a smaller spring, incidentally. No, it isn't. It's the same, roughly the same. But it still doesn't meet the top. So what am I saying? The fact that they put this part here, it means that the spring is not actually as tight as it normally was. When you take this part off, the spring is actually stretched out a little more, and that's a big deal on a pedal. It's stretched out already a little more. So this thing was bothering me too. And then I was playing yesterday, and I realized, I said, you know what? If I put this back on, which I like, because I don't like looking down at something and like having, like, I had to, like, you know, manipulate it to get it to work right. I like the piece to be built for it. So I was like, you know, if I put that spring lock thing back there, I gotta tighten the spring a little more, because the fact that it's there means that there's less tension on this spring. So when you're playing, you get used to this height right there. You look down, you get used to the height of that, the length of this, to know pretty much how much tension you have on your spring. So I was doing the same thing. It didn't register that actually I need to have this much lower. This spring needs to be tighter if I use this system, because it's closer. It's not tightening the spring up automatically like it would with this one. You follow me? Right? It's not being stretched out as much, this one, because there's literally a whole big chunk of metal here, whereas there was just this. And this is shorter. If I do it like that, you can see. It's shorter. So we're talking, it's important, because when you're using a spring, if you like your spring, you don't like it tight, you just like it right before it gets loose, right? Well, if you do it with this one, what happens is there's a moment where the spring, it's not even sprung kind of thing. It's not even tight. And it creates a really, really weird sensation. You don't understand what's going on. But you only recognize it when it's in its current position. So do you follow me? I hope so. So I'm going to put this one back on, and now I know I'm going to tighten this a lot more. I got to tighten it. Basically, I got to make sure that it's, what would that be? You know, like a pinky's width more, a pinky's width tighter, if I use the spring lock thing here. So raise it up, and then I should rediscover what I got So what I got so used to and what I like with the Camco and the Iron Cobra, because one of the nice things about this very, very efficient, very no stress system that the iron that Tama has to lock the spring screw here is that you never touch it. Once you find that spot, it stays there in your bag, whatever. It's there. You never have to touch it again. So so I'm trying to figure that out, and that's it. Now, since I discovered that the rolling glide is the deal here, is what I was looking for, I bought, because I don't want to use this one, I'm going to make it even lighter. I bought the Rolling Glide 900 sprocket. So now I'm going to have this pedal not with the old school Rolling Glide sprocket from the old school Iron Cobra, but I'm going to have the 900 pedal with the Rolling Glide 900 series sprocket, which is thicker, but it's like the aluminum one. It's thick like this. It's thick like that. And what's going to be cool, I'm betting money on this, that the 900 Rolling Glide sprocket is going to be lighter than this Rolling Glide sprocket, which appears to be all in like chrome steel, whereas the new ones are all in aluminum. So I'm going to be even faster and lighter once I get the new Rolling Glide sprocket on here, which that will be the next video. So I can't wait to do that. And I'm kind of up for grabs about the beater holder. I looked for. I'll probably use this beater holder until I find a new one. But I was looking at the price of beater holders. They're expensive, and there's no way I'm going to put on the other one. I don't need that. I don't need the crazy placement of the beater. I just need the Rolling Glide shape with the footboard up a certain height, and that's it. And I'm good with the classic beater position. So I don't need that extra weight, and that's it. That's it. So otherwise, this pedal just became a serious weapon, serious thing. Another thing I forgot to mention is I wanted to get a base plate, on my pedal, because when you're playing in little cafes and stuff here, they don't have carpets, and this really grips the floor, and it's nice. It holds the bass drum. It's yet another little extra effort to hold that bass drum in place on tiles and wood floors, so you don't have bass creep. It'll literally, hold it in position a lot more than this kind of pedal, which is literally like the bass drum will just creep away from you, which it did this past week. So that's yet another thing that I'm interested in doing. Now, to finalize this pedal, if I want, I can put a Cobra coil here. But that's a lot of bang. That's a lot going on this pedal. Essentially, I wanted the Iron Cobra pedal with the base plate, but this feature here with the key is really actually beautiful. I love it right there. So we're gonna see what happens with this now that I got this. But this definitely, it's back to normal. I felt it immediately. The pocket I could get back with this pedal with the Rolling Glide, as opposed to the Power Glide, which is essentially what a Flexiglide is. You follow? Savvy? And other news coming up. It won't be coming up, but there's going to be some changes with these videos. Probably we'll see in the summertime. I cannot wait for it. I can't. I'm going to have to, but I'm looking forward to that. So I'll let you know. Next video will be this pedal with the Rolling Glide sprocket, the brand new one. I got to put it on. But that's it. More news soon. Happy bass drum pedal searching. If you're looking for a great pedal, this Iron Cobra, hands down, you just got to find the right sprocket for yourself. but it's a mammoth of a pedal. It's a great, great, great pedal. I got no bad things to say about it. It's actually, it does too much. It actually does too much for what I need. But for those people that are a little bit more particular, everybody's a little different. I can't imagine how you could not figure out your style with this pedal. So, bravo to Tama. It's a great pedal. And I've always been a Tama fan. So, more news soon. Ciao, everybody.